Aloha! Welcome to Church of the Holy Cross, United Church of Christ on this Friday evening. It is time for our monthly community concert, which we haven't actually had since March. And before that, we hadn't had one since December. So it's beginning to look a little bit more like a quarterly community concert. And realistically speaking, that might be the more sensible schedule for us. But anyway, welcome to this evening's concert. So glad that you could be here, and so glad that you could be here who are viewing it via live stream or later on via recording. So good to have you here. We always start with the same thing, because sometimes I'm not very creative. This little light. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine all around the world, all around the world. I'm gonna let it shine, oh, all around the world. I'm gonna let it shine, all around the world. Oh, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Where are we gonna let it shine? Here at Holy Cross, here at Holy Cross, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, here at Holy Cross, I'm gonna let it shine. Here at Holy Cross, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Under cloudy skies, under cloudy skies. It's been sunny today. I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, under cloudy skies, I'm gonna let it shine. Under cloudy skies, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Got one more? All day and night, all day and night, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, all day and night, I'm gonna let it shine. All day and night, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I won't let anybody blow it out. I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, I won't let anybody blow it out. I'm gonna let it shine. Won't let anybody blow it out. Oh, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, 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 let it shine. Yeah, there we go. Got a few lights shining, a few lights shining. So maybe we ought to think about some singing. My life flows on in endless song above earth's lamentation. I hear the sweet though far off hymn that hails a new creation. the tumult and the strife, I hear that music ringing. It finds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing? What though my joys and comforts die? My Savior still is living. What though the shadows gather round? A new song Christ is giving. No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging. Since love commands both heaven and earth, how can I keep from singing? From singing. I lift my eyes, the cloud grows dim. I see the blue above it, and day by day this pathway smooths, since first I learned to love it. The peace of Christ fresh my heart, a fountain ever springing. All things are mine since I am Christ's. How can I keep from singing? From singing. How can I keep from singing? From singing. How can I keep from singing? From singing, from singing. By the great Robert Lowry. Well, it is something of a custom to do a few love songs during these concerts. Although, I gotta tell you right now, this is the most romantic one of them all. The rest of them may be a bit more about love that's struggling. I gave my love. Oh yeah. I gave my love a cherry that had no stone. I gave my love a chicken that had no bone. I gave my love a story that had no end. I gave my love a baby with no crying. How can there be a cherry that has no stone? How can there be a chicken that has no bone? How can there be a story that has no end? How can there be a baby with no crying? I gave my love a cherry. Now a cherry when it's blooming has no stone. A chicken when it's pippin', well, it has no bone. A story when it's written, it has no end. A baby when it's sleeping does no crying. I gave my love a cherry. Yes, a cherry when it's blooming, it has no stone. A chicken when it's pippin', it has no bone. The story of I love you, it has no end. A baby when it's sleeping does no crying. A cherry, I gave my love. The Riddle Song. Now, this is a love song that I suspect you're familiar with, because we sing it all the time. But it is not a love song which can be said to have embarked upon smooth roads and steady sailing. In fact, it's a love song that is embarked on, well, rivers full of rapids and no safe sailing. Clementine. In a cavern, in a canyon, excavating for a mine, dwelt a miner, 49er, and his daughter Clementine. Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine, you were lost and gone forever, dreadful sorry Clementine. Light she was, and like a fairy, and her shoes were number 9. Herring boxes without topses, sandals were for Clementine. Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine, you are lost and gone forever, dreadful sorry Clementine. Drove she ducklings to the water every morning just at 9, rubbed her toe against a splinter, fell into the foaming brine. Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine, you are lost and gone forever, dreadful sorry Clementine. Ruby lips above the water, blowing bubbles soft and fine, but alas I was no swimmer, so I lost my Clementine. Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine, you are lost and gone forever, dreadful sorry Clementine. In a churchyard near the canyon where the myrtles doth entwine, there were rosies and other posies for Eliza, my Clementine. Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine, you are lost and gone forever, dreadful sorry Clementine. Then the miner, 49er, soon began to peak and pine. Thought he oughter join his daughter, now he's with his Clementine. Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine, you are lost and gone forever, dreadful sorry Clementine. In my dreams she still doth haunt me, robed in garments soaked with brine. Though in life I used to hug her, now she's dead, I draw the line. Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine, you are lost and gone forever, dreadful sorry sorry Clementine. Now ye Boy Scouts and ye Girl Scouts, meet this tragic tale of mine. Artificial respiration could have saved my Clementine. Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine, you are lost and gone forever, dreadful sorry Clementine. How I missed her, how I missed her, how I missed my Clementine. Till I kissed her little sister and forgot my Clementine. Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine, you are lost and gone forever, dreadful sorry Clementine. Ah, dear. The course of true love is not smooth. Sometimes there are obstacles to progress. Sometimes there's a hole in the bucket. There's a hole in the bucket, dear Liza, dear Liza. There's a hole in the bucket, dear Liza, a hole. Well then fix it, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. Then fix it, dear Henry. Henry, just fix the bucket. And with what shall I fix it, dear Liza, dear Liza? With what shall I fix it, dear Liza? With what? With straw, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. With straw, dear Henry, you can fix the bucket. And how shall I cut it, dear Liza, dear Liza? And how shall I cut it, dear Liza? With what? With a knife, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. With a knife, dear Henry, you can cut the straw. Oh, but the knife is too dull, dear Liza, dear Liza. The knife is too dull, dear Liza, too dull. Well then sharpen it, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. Then sharpen it, dear Henry. And while you're at it, just sharpen up. And with what shall I sharpen it, dear Liza, dear Liza? With what shall I sharpen it, dear Liza? With what? With a stone, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. With a stone, dear Henry, sharpen the knife. But the stone is too dry, dear Liza, dear Liza. The stone is too dry, dear Liza, too dry. Well then wet it, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. Then wet it, dear Henry. Just wet the stone and then sharpen the knife and then fix the bucket. And then with what shall I wet it, dear Liza, dear Liza? With what shall I wet it, dear Liza? With what? Water, dear Henry, you can wet the stone. And with what shall I fetch it, dear Liza, dear Liza? With what shall I fetch it, dear Liza? With what? With a bucket, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. With a bucket, dear Henry, you can fetch the water. There's a hole in the bucket, dear Liza, dear Liza. There's a hole in the bucket, dear Liza, a hole. Honestly, the more I sing this song over the years, the more I feel sorry for Liza. I'm honestly not sure whether Henry has worked out all the reasoning in advance to get Liza into that trap, or whether he really is that unsharp. And in either case, I feel sorry for Liza. Oh dear. You may have noticed that there's a few funny songs tonight. There's another one. Old favorite. I have no idea where the song comes from. Maybe it comes from the moon. 'Cause there was a man who lived in the moon, in the moon, in the moon. There was a man who lived in the moon, and his name was Aiken Drum. And he played upon a ladle, a ladle, a ladle. Played upon a ladle, and his name was Aiken Drum. And his hair was made of good green cheese, good green cheese, good green cheese. His hair was made of good green cheese, and his name was Aiken Drum. And he played upon a ladle, a ladle, a ladle. Played upon a ladle, and his name was Aiken Drum. And his shirt was made of good roast beef, good roast beef, good roast beef. His shirt was made of good roast beef, and his name was Aiken Drum. And he played upon a ladle, a ladle, a ladle. Played upon a ladle, and his name was Aiken Drum. His waistcoat was made of trifle, of trifle, of trifle. His waistcoat was made of trifle, and his name was Aiken Drum. And he played upon a ladle, a ladle, a ladle. Played upon a ladle, and his name was Aiken Drum. And his buttons were made of penny loaves, penny loaves, penny loaves. His buttons were made of penny loaves, and his name was Aiken Drum. And he played upon a ladle, a ladle, a ladle. Played upon a ladle, and his name was Aiken Drum. And his pants were made of haggis bags, yeah, haggis bags. His pants were made of haggis bags, and his name was Aiken Drum. Now, some of you may be objecting at this point, because here we have a man that is made out of food, and we have said that one of his items of clothing is made out of haggis bags, and the objection, of course, is that haggis is not food. All I can say is, I agree with you, and that's how the song goes. 'Cause there was a man in another town, another town, another town. There was a man in another town, and his name was Willie Wood. And he played upon a razor, a razor, a razor. Played upon a razor, and his name was Willie Wood. He was sharper than the guy in the last song. And he ate up all the good green cheese, good green cheese, good green cheese. He ate up all the good green cheese, and his name was Willie Wood. And he played upon a razor, a razor, a razor. Played upon a razor, and his name was Willie Wood. And he ate up all the good roast beef, that good roast beef. He ate up all that good roast beef, and his name was Willie Wood. And he played upon a razor, razor, a razor. He played upon a razor, and his name was Willie Wood. Then he ate up all the trifle, yes, the trifle. He ate up all the trifle, and his name was Willie Wood. And he played upon a razor, razor, a razor. He played upon a razor, and his name was Willie Wood. Then he ate up all the penny loaves, the penny loaves, the penny loaves. Ate up all those penny loaves, and his name was Willie Wood. And he played upon a razor, a razor, a razor. Played upon a razor, and his name was Willie Wood. But he choked upon the haggis bags, the haggis bags, the haggis bags. He choked upon the haggis. It was the end of Willie Wood. And he played upon a razor, a razor, a razor. Played upon a razor, and his name was Willie Wood. And he played upon a ladle, a ladle, a ladle. laid upon a ladle, and his name was Aiken Drum. Whew. So much food. I feel quite stuffed. So this is one of my songs, and I wrote it back in 2020. So it reflects one of the circumstances of a global pandemic. And I wrote it in a style that I don't write in all that often. This is, in fact, only the second time I have written a blues. And the first one almost doesn't count because I wrote the lyrics and stole the tune. So this one, I guess, would probably be my first real blues number. I woke up this morning with a sense of dread. I woke up this morning with earphones on my head. It's gonna be another day of Skype and Zoom ahead. Oh, I'm singing the blues of cameras and of mics. I logged in on FaceTime, but everybody else was on Skype. Oh, there's a Google Hangouts and Facebook Live, and every last one of them is giving me the teleconference blues. I logged into the meeting. What did I see? A mass of unknown faces staring back at me. Quick check the email. Oops, it's on me. I'm not on till 3. Oh, I'm singing the blues of cameras and of mics. I logged in on FaceTime. Why are they on Skype? Well, there's a Google Hangouts, Facebook Live, and every one of them is giving me the teleconference blues. Sneaking a beer. Might be thinking I've been sneaking a beer. As the meeting comes to a close, comes a word from my leader. Did he freeze? But we're going to find out what the meeting's all about. Can anybody get that started again? I'm singing the blues of cameras and of mics. I logged in on FaceTime. Does anybody still use Skype? Google Hangouts, Facebook Live, and every last one of them is giving me the teleconference blues. The teleconference blues. The teleconference blues. Well, we're back to the love songs. But this is an unrequited love song. Or at least I think it is. You ought to see my Cindy, she lives away down south. She's so sweet the honeybees swarm around her mouth. Get along home, Cindy, Cindy, get along home, I say. Get along home, Cindy, Cindy, I'll marry you someday. Now the first I see Miss Cindy, she was standing in the door, shoes and stockings in her hand, her feet all over the floor. She took me to her parlor, she pulled me with her fan. She said I was the prettiest thing in the shape of mortal man. Get along home, Cindy, Cindy, get along home, I say. Get along home, Cindy, Cindy, I'll marry you someday. She kissed me and she hugged me, she called me sugar plum. She put her arms around me, Lord, I thought my time had come. Now Cindy got religion, she'd had it once before. When she heard my old guitar, she's the first one on the floor. Get along home, Cindy, Cindy, get along home, I say. Get along home, Cindy, Cindy, I'll marry you someday. Now when Cindy got religion, she shouted all around. She got so full of glory, she shook her stockings down. I wish I had a needle as fine as I could sew. I'd sew that girl in my coattails and down the road I'd go. Get along home, Cindy, Cindy, get along home, I say. Get along home, Cindy, Cindy, I'll marry you someday. Oh, I wish I was an apple hanging on a tree. Every time that Cindy passed, she'd take a bite of me. Oh, Cindy in the springtime, Cindy in the fall. If I can't have my own Cindy, I'll have the girl at all. Get along home, Cindy, Cindy, get along home, I say. Get along home, Cindy, Cindy, I'll marry you someday. Get along home, Cindy, Cindy, get along home, I say. Get along home, Cindy, Cindy, I'll marry you someday. There. Oh dear. Well, that was all fun. But now we got to get to the other side of love, and that is, of course, love lost. And one of the ironic things about music is the way that songwriters come up with the most amazing melodies for the saddest lyrics, and this one is no exception. The original title is Waily Waily. This set of lyrics is The Water is Wide. Water is wide, I cannot cross over, and neither have I wings to fly. Give me a boat that can carry two, and both shall row, my love and I. Ship there is, and she sails the sea. She is loaded deep as deep can be, but not so deep as the love I'm in. I know not how to sing or swim. I laid my back against an oak, thinking it was a trusty tree. But first it bent and then it broke, and thus did my false love to me. Love is gentle and love is kind, the sweetest flower when first it is new. But love grows old and waxes cold and fades away like summer's dew. Sing it with me. Water is wide, I cannot cross o'er, I cannot cross o'er, and neither have I wings to fly, I wings to fly. Give me a boat, give me a boat that can carry two, that can carry two, and both shall row, and both shall row, my love and I. So this song is now 2 years old, and I wrote it when the pandemic achieved an accomplishment, or at least a mile marker, of 1 million Americans that had died of COVID-19. The number now is about 1.2 Americans. The number of people around the world is deeply disputed, but somewhere between about 16 million and 30 million. So this song is called "One in a Million of Grief." We knew the day would come, though some denied and some were mute. We knew the day would come because the sorrow flowed so wide. We knew the day would come when the tears would overflow for all the ones who had died. Each one in a million, the nurses, the meat packers. 1 in a million, the grandmas, the fathers. 1 in a million, both the loving and the foolish. 1 in a million of grief. We knew the day would come for the aged and the ill. We knew the day would come because it was so hard to treat. We knew the day would come that our tears would overflow for all the loved ones who died. Each one in a million, the grocery clerks, the drivers. 1 in a million, the grandpas, the mothers. 1 in a million, the old and the young. 1 in a million of grief. We knew the day would come when some refused the vaccines. We knew the day would come as each wave spread more quickly. We knew the day would come when the tears would overflow for all the ones who had died. Each one in a million, firefighters and teachers. 1 in a million, children and teens. 1 in a million, 16 million around the world. 1 in a million of grief. Each one in a million, so special to someone. 1 in a million with a smile to light the day. 1 in a million, our tears overflow. 1 in a million of grief. It's an old song, but I don't want us to forget that, because the world forgot the flu pandemic of 1918, and we needed to not forget it. This song is one that I wrote a few years ago, and it is inspired by Miriam's song. She plays a tambourine and sings once the people of Israel had crossed through the Red Sea, and then the sea had closed and they were free. But in my imagination, it wasn't one tambourine, but two. They told us to hustle. There was no time to leaven bread. Take only one bag or all of us are dead. The strap is over my shoulder as I flee from Egypt land, and there's a tambourine clutched within my hand. And I will ring my tambourine as I dance along the shore. I'll shout the joy of freedom over welling waves restored. But there's another tambourine, and it's floating in the marsh, while the wailing widows of Egypt mourn. They called out the soldiers with all their chariots and spears. Will we go back to servitude, or will our graves be here? A hip of a chariot driver, a tambourine found room. He brought it to celebrate our doom. And I will ring my tambourine as I dance along the shore. I'll shout the joy of freedom over welling waves restored. But there's another tambourine, and it's sinking in the marsh, and the wailing widows of Egypt mourn. walls of water billowed as we slogged through mud and reeds. Will we lie in murky graves, or will we all be free? Well, the waters took the army in the moment of our need, and left a tambourine fouled in the reeds. And I will ring my tambourine as I dance along the shore. I'll shout the joy of freedom over welling waves restored. But there's another tambourine singing in the marsh, and the wailing widows of Egypt mourn. Yes, I will ring my tambourine. I'll shout the joy of freedom. But there's another tambourine, and wailing widows in Egypt. Yes, I will ring my tambourine, and I'll dance along the shore. I'll shout the joy of freedom over welling waves restored. Another tambourine has vanished in the marsh, and the wailing widows of Egypt mourn. Wailing widows of Egypt mourn. Two tambourines. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. I looked over Jordan, and what did I see? Coming for to carry me home. A band of angels coming after me, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Well, I'm sometimes up, I'm sometimes down, coming for to carry me home. But still I know I'm heavily bound, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. If I get there before you do, coming for to carry me home, I'll cut a hole, I'll blow you through, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. chariot coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot coming for to carry me home. Oh, coming for to carry me home. Yeah, coming for to carry me home. Well, I got one that definitely goes with that one. Lyrics by John Newton. We do not know who wrote this amazing melody. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. The Lord has promised good to me, God's word my hope secures. God will my shield and portion be, as long as life endures. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace has brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun, than when we first begun. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. Amazing grace. This is one I wrote, goodness me, last year, about this time. Getting ready for a vacation Bible school with some of the young folks. And, well, I think you'll figure out what the story's about. Sang our working song. There's smoke on the shore, and a voice calls, now lower your nets to yes, that's how we kept the thing afloat. While he got all wet, we wrestled with the net, smelling fish and bread, toasting all the while. Breakfast on the beach with Jesus, so many fish it made the boats to rain. Breakfast on the beach with Jesus, we'll never go catch fish again. Do you love me? Jesus asked us then. He asked us, do you love me twice again? We love you, we pledge. Feed my sheep, he said. That's how you love me the most. Breakfast on the beach with Jesus. So many fish it made the boat strain. Breakfast on the beach with Jesus. We'll never go catch fish again. We folded up the nets and we left them. We won't catch people if we try to net them. The sheep and the lambs we'll feed with our hands as Jesus fed us that morn. Breakfast on the beach with Jesus. So many fish it made the boat strain. Breakfast on the beach with Jesus. We'll never go catch fish again. Hey Ruth, I was wrong. There's two with ukulele. Because we are, in fact, right up against the top of the hour, and so it's time for the last song of the evening. And you all know what it is, because it's the same one every time. Ehawai kuome hanawe kuome kulagi vine oli no rangi na pono lani o Ehawai aloha e hauoli na opi o Hawaii nei oli e maina ahe makani e pamai nei ma o ke aloha no Hawaii e haoli na opi o Hawaii nei oli e maina ahe makani e pamai nei ma ke aloha no Hawaii ma ke aloha no Hawaii. Thank you so much. Glad that you were able to be with us here in the room, and those who have been with us on the ether webs, those things. So I will get a notice out at some point after making a decision about whether we're moving to quarterly. If we're moving to quarterly, that means the next one would be in September. And if we're not moving to quarterly, it would mean the next one is at the end of July. So either way, hope that you can join us at that time. For now, I will say good night and aloha.